Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.
Namaste. Jai Shankar. Welcome to Satsang. Welcome to all the Zoomers all around the world. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. It's very important, no? Shambho Mahadev. Namaste. Thank you for being here. So, why are we all gathered here today? As we have spoken in many, many satsangs and continue to do so, we have a very, very focused path, and that is enlightenment, emancipation, moksha. So we'll come to that. So what is enlightenment? What is the state of being before and after enlightenment? So last couple of satsangs, I know I have a few new faces, but you'll catch up. Because the last few satsangs we talked about conscious living, super conscious living, what they are and how to go about being in that state of consciousness. So before we go to that, there are some prerequisites to enlightenment, which we have said over and over again. But it's well to be repeated for the newcomers and as well as the old timers who are here. That is humility. The first prerequisite is humility. Taking the risk of being, redundant. I'll have to explain. So, humility. Humility is important, folks. Very, very important. Can you hear me at the back? If I go slow, please put your hands up or something, because it's difficult to stay in the jagat, no? When you're in that state, you can go deep any moment. But I'm trying for your sakes. So, humility. And after you're humbled, it takes a lot to be humble, no? You have to go through. So all of you have been in the path. You've been with different masters. Now somehow grace has brought you here. So a little bit of attention, if you can pay, you will receive everything. Because there's nobody here sitting and giving you something. You will receive it because it's an inner saying of your own vastness. It's your own God within you. You're able to see and recognize that God within you. That vastness within you is everything, the entire world. And without that, there's nothing. Everything is illusory. The world is illusory, folks. You'll agree with me after a little bit. After a little bit being cooked in this aura of the sacred space. After standing in the, Anyway, so humility. So when you become humble and you're able to come and kneel in front of the infinite within you, then what happens? You're able to let go of some of these entertainments. You're able to let go of these desires and wants and all of this. So the next thing is drop all the desires, drop all the wants, expectations, because expectations bring you disappointments. Desires bring you expectations, right? So expectations, definitely you'll be disappointed because you have an expectation of that desire being fulfilled, and so therefore you're going to, if it is not fulfilled, because God has other plans for you. You think that you are the best planner. Many of you old timers with me know that ain't true. And the beauty of this sacred space, why we do the satsangs, is to let you know, please transform that surrender to the infinite within you so that everything is taken care of. So you don't have to think, I'm the doer, I have to do this. If I don't do this, Ma, what do you mean? If I don't do it, who's going to do this for me, right? You're doing till the day you die, you're doing, no problem. Go to work, do this one, whatever. We have some prerequisites. The doership has to be dropped. Okay, so the first and foremost, one important thing I said in the last 3 satsangs, what is the major thing to be dropped? Old students, what is one major thing that you can drop that dismantle the whole thing?
So, attachment.
Good. All of positionalities, ego, and what is attachments, all that is good. But there was one important thing I said with a particular verbiage, forgot. Yeah, doership. Before that. Yes. Identification of yourself, of the little self. Identification of your name and form. If I ask the question again next time, will you say identification of the name? Because from kindergarten, you can't go to first grade unless you passed, no? So how can I take you to PhD now if you don't know this? Simple things. So identification of the self with your name and form. Why I'm so particular about this is when you drop the name and form, completely your ego realm, ego mind realm dismantles immediately, depending on how well you've dropped it. If you say, oh, no, I want this toy, it's my Tesla car, and I just plan to buy this Tesla car or electric car or whatever, and I've been planning for it for a long time, and Bhagavan is laughing, So, you have all these plans, right? It's okay, you plan, but then you want enlightenment or you want to keep on planning, striving another 30, 50, 80 lifetimes, then you come back, you do all your planning, you do all the striving, one day you die. Terminal cancer. You got 2 days to live. What do? Is there anything you can do at that time? No. Shambho Mahadev, please take me. So work on it now. Because if you're 30 or 90, it does not matter, folks. Death can come and knock on your door and take you like that. So be joyful, okay? I'm not giving you a death sentence. You're all sitting like, oh, I don't think I like what she says. Because it's radical truth, no wasting time here. It's radical truth. The first day itself, I give the radical truth. So next satsang, if this body doesn't return, what you're going to do? You have substance to take and run with it. That's what the whole thing is about, So blah blah blah. Then coming to this, so you learn. So enlightenment is what this process of enlightenment is. This it's actually very very simple. The reason it does not become very easy for you guys because you can't drop your toys, can't drop the ego positionality, you can't drop identity. This name was given to me by my parents. I know, and it's my grandfather's name, and all these positionalities. Cut the positionalities out, cut everything out so you can see your glorious, radiant being. Otherwise, you can't, because you have too much toys, crowding that radiance that you are right now. Yes, please give it to Michael.
First, I'll apologize for the interruption.
No problem.
I love the idea that you're talking about identification. And I was looking at the bottom paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
You truly are my mother. Very hard to identify you, to lose identification when you're already identifying. And I'm wondering whether or not the my's need to be shifted completely.
Where are you reading that from? What is that? Oh, chant. So what is that? What does it say?
Please give her a shot.
No, it's okay. You can explain.
You truly are my mother.
Mm-hmm.
My mother is identification, whereas it should say you are mother.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
right.
at the same time, what you're saying is correct.
Yeah.
We then read things that counter that without ever knowing it.
Right.
And one needs to be aware. I'm
Right.
just reiterating your point.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. So the vigilance, we talk about alert and vigilance, So all this is not, I've not fine-combed it with the, because people have taken, fine-tuned it with my own interpretations, but it is true. Anytime you put my, even when I'm sending an email, you'll never see me and mine at all in that. I may say your ma or this ma or something like that, but never say I or me, or because then it's just, again, that ego mind will come and say, you love me. Oh, you're still keeping me on. Like, so beautiful. Thank you, Michael. Okay, so every time you have to, I'll come to the super conscious living. That's what it is. Being vigilant every moment to see what you're missing and why are you in the state of sorrow and sadness. So when you come and drop all of this identification, you're in a space of little bit of a freedom. Okay, so what is enlightenment is total freedom, right? So we're coming to that. So fast forward a little bit, and last couple of satsangs we've been talking about conscious living. I want to go a little bit deeper into that. Conscious living, then super conscious living. Conscious living is when one is aware, and all of you are very intelligent human beings. You're aware, just like Michael was aware enough to pick up that my mother. So in the same way, you're doing everything. You're aware. You're aware that you are awareness itself. So far, so good. Is anybody here not aware of the awareness that you are? So everybody is aware of the awareness that you are. So with that awareness, you are conducting your life in a conscious way. That is okay. That's very good. Good, first step. But I'm talking about super conscious living. When you come to the super conscious living, you at that time recognize or know that you are the supreme reality in some gentle, soft way. So in the beginning, awakening happens, and in that awakening, you see, wait a minute, I've tasted the sweet nectar and I am that supreme self. I have to go a little bit deeper. That is super conscious living. And if you want to go deeper, then every aspect of your life, you have to be alert. Why do we take so much trouble to do that? That alertness and being in the super conscious state is because what comes back to you as a benefit is pure joy, love, and consciousness. There's no conflict, there's no sorrow, there is no nothing. Jealousy, So when you're in that super conscious thing, everything you're contacting, everything that you're contacting, everything that is contacting you on a regular basis, becomes consciousness interacting with consciousness. So if the self is only one, there's only one God, then who is the other? Are you all others sitting apart from me? No. So that's why once you are emancipated, it's very easy to give the unconditional love, because you are also me. You are also my very own. So whatever I'm giving, whom am I giving to? Except my beloved ones. No? So that innate experience and the feeling enters your beingness. There's no going back. There's no going back to your toys and to your cars and to your desires and whatever, right? Because this is a larger seeing, folks. It's a larger seeing. In the beginning, you may say that, okay, Ma wants us to meditate 3 hours a day, 3 times a day, 1 hour each, or something like that. I say, oh my God, it's so boring. Now I have to meditate. But that boredom will give you fruition, because you're coming and dropping all your entertainments, no? You're dropping all your, trust me, even the so-called spiritual people want entertainment, need entertainment. I need to go and catch an opera show or whatever, It's all entertainment. I want to go and do this, whatever, There's something going on. It's a fair, and it's like, every year the fair comes, man. I have to attend. Why is that I have to attend? Are you different from what you were last year? So the belief systems of the world is set up for your failure. Newsflash. Why? Because it's entertainment. The whole world is geared to that, right? I mean, they're all making, everybody's got their businesses and they want to advertise their businesses just like we are all doing, whatever. So everything where they can trip you and get your money, they're going to do it. So it is all how you conduct yourself vibrationally inside out. So we were talking when we were driving with my friend and we were saying like, we cannot change the world by our seva, whatever. In a little way we can. Only what Ramana Maharshi says is, come to your own enlightenment, then you can transform the world, not before that. First be enlightened yourself. And some of you, if you have come to that state of enlightenment, how much grandeur there is in that. And when I'm talking about the super conscious thing, state of being, even after recognizing, even after saying that you are an enlightened being and you're giving this certification, there's still some soaking to do. There's some soaking to do. And that soaking is what I'm going to talk about a little bit. All of our great masters have given this Vedantic truths and the truth, radical truths, everything, and they've left their bodies, okay? And one thing I also want to tell you is all of you have had masters. Some of them have passed, some of them are here. One thing it came very strongly in my meditation this morning is that don't feel guilty. Suppose you were with a group and now you are kind of feeling a lot of resonance here in this sacred space and you're keeping on. So don't feel guilty that, I'm more and more not really going to my group or something like that, because somebody from somewhere wrote, he may be on the Zoom today. I love you, all the Zoomers. They're so precious, some of them are so precious. I met them last time in India in Tiruvannamalai. He says, I'm trying to slowly wean away from the group that I was going. I'm not slowly doing it. It's really hard, Ma, It's okay. Don't feel guilty because I had so many masters also. No? But when you're done with God sends you at the right time. If you surrender, the one important thing I forgot is the total surrender, Sharanagati, before we even come to the conscious living. Total surrender has to be there. Why surrender becomes easy at the point where first you're humble, then you're letting go, you've given up all the desires, easy to surrender. If you cannot surrender, keep going back to that. Keep going back to that. How can I surrender more? Because keeping this body, mind, ego and doing things for it ain't got me anything so far. Little bit here and there and little trinklets here and there, Dr. Tanza and Dr. this one and whatever, But after that, what, who are you? Just 1 second, let me finish my thought. So coming to the so when you're doing this Sharanagati, what I'm saying is when you come to the super conscious thing and you already have a teacher. So going back to the teachers, don't feel guilty about leaving those teachers. Because if the self is only one, the same master who's left the body is sending you here. That's what I was guided to so many masters because my master, I couldn't be with him all the time in India. So I was guided to Dr. Hawkins. I was guided to other people here in America. And she came for a short time in my life. And, I needed them at that time. And then I kind of outgrew. I'm very humble about it, but I just outgrew. And I just knew within as I was awakening myself and getting soaked in that ambrosia of infinite reality is simply, they just dropped. They never was a part of my life or whatever. And it's okay. It was okay to go forward. You need to go forward. This belief system you drop today. Because otherwise you can't come to enlightenment. You can't come to the pure seeing that you are that infinite light. Okay? So that's one thing. So super conscious living, coming to that is that when I talked about soaking, it's a beautiful example that came to me. But before that, I was listening to this Vedantic, the Vedantic truths are given by my master and everybody. Soaking in the truth of the great masters, their inspirations, their books and whatever. And then it came to me, what is the soaking? What example can I give them? Gulab jamuns, it's an Indian sweet. Okay, some of you will say, I love that. Don't make me go to the, So it's like a brown sweet. It's a milk sweet, and it's kind of brown. And then you deep fry it in clarified butter. It's very fattening. And it's not vegan, but anyway. It's okay. So you fry it and then you drop it in the sugar solution. And the sugar solution has to be warm. If the sugar solution is not warm, it will not soak through this crusty, crunchy piece, a ball of the sweet. And it's not sweet that time, but it gets into the sweet and becomes sweet, absorbing that sweetness and becomes totally sweet. That is completely enlightenment. And why the soaking has to happen? That is the soaking. Even after I say, okay, you come to that, highest form of seeing, that's only awakening. All of you are just awakening. I want you to go deeper, because I haven't even introduced this in 4 years we've had in Satsang. It's just what comes to me as downloads. So right now we have to go deeper into that soaking. So how do we soak? The warmth of the syrup, okay? Warmth of the syrup is what? Is the Satsanga. The warmth of the syrup is where you're sitting right now, is the sacred space where you're given inspirations. You're giving support, complete support, the warmth of the space, this infinite space. You need to be in there and soak. And then whatever that warmth, you have to go out into the world and keep soaking. What do I mean by soaking? Every aspect of your life, you have to see, how can I soak? How can I go deeper? How can I go deeper? Every aspect of your life you have to see. Not just coming to here, sitting near Ma and, going through the satsangs or whatever. You will not be able to go deeper if you do not every moment of your life look at, okay, what did I do wrong? Like today somebody was saying, I just lost it or something, So why do you lose it? You have to go to that thing and say, why do I lose it? And how come today I was so blissed out? So watch yourself, police yourself. Why was I so blissed out today? And yesterday I just lost it. Because there's some kind of, not so good feeling in your heart. So go and see, if you are the infinite reality, there's only joy. The self is only joy, it doesn't know anything else. The self is only joy. So you have to go to that Chidananda Rupam Shivoham Shivoham. Adi Shankaracharya, I've told you this so many times. There was an 8-year-old boy who came and said, I am pure joy, love and consciousness. Ananda Rupam means I am the embodiment of pure joy, love and consciousness. So how are you going to experience that joy within you? By soaking. Even after enlightenment, right? Before enlightenment, you're chopping wood, drawing water. After enlightenment, you're chopping wood, drawing water. All of these great masters went through horrible things, right? Cancer of the arm for Bhagavan, everything. And Ramakrishna had cancer of the throat. What can you say? They take on all our karmas. That's one thing. And they may have their own. It doesn't matter. Now, everything is preordained. The Bhagavan says everything is preordained. Even if I took this thing and I kept it here, it's preordained. That's what Bhagavan says. But my 2 cents worth is, in that preordination, you always have a choice. You always have a choice. Suppose a karma is coming and hitting you, and you're just going to die. Like, you're saying, why all of this health issues are coming, and why is all this financial issues are coming? What are you going to do? You have choice, right? You can choose either to just drown in that crap, or you choose to stand like a warrior angel and say, surrender, say, Lord, give me the strength to go through this fire. Because ultimately what's going to happen is going to happen. Point A to point B, I've told you this in the satsang. Point A, you're given the choice. Ordination is happening, you lost everything, you're going to lose everything, you're going to lose your health, everything. What do you do? Aren't you that reality? Aren't you that infinite self? If you have lost everything also, what is the greatest thing you have left? That infinite reality within you that never goes, that is always changeless. The changeless, only changeless reality that is within you. You don't have to go buy it from anywhere. All that changes is in the world. So that changeless reality is within you. So don't judge yourself. Well, I'm just like, I went through crap all my life and I was a horrible youngster and teenager. Gosh, I was just drinking myself like a, whatever. Everything past is water under the bridge, folks. Whatever has happened in your past, please leave it in the past. Don't become a prisoner of your own past. Here is the light shining at your face. Just step into that light. Step into that light. So that's my humble request. And once you decide to do that, all help will come from this space. Because this one is not a personality, no? If you have entered the sacred space even once, I remember you. Don't ask me how or what. Even the names I remember. If you came and introduced yourself to me, I'll never forget the names are not forgotten by self, But right now we take it as name and form. But why it is not forgotten is because you're that infinite reality as well. So don't waste any time in some nonsense. Don't waste any time in some nonsense of this jagat, of this world, this illusory world, because finally you have to give it all up. It's not that you have to give it up, but it will simply drop. There will not be an interest for the same. Absolutely no interest. I have no interest whatsoever. So, do you understand? So, soaking in that divine consciousness is the super consciousness. Okay, so we talked about some latecomers. We talked about, enlightenment, the state of enlightenment, prerequisites for enlightenment. And we went to super conscious living. Then we went to super conscious living. So conscious living is awareness, which everybody has, and it's good, very good. It's okay, ordinary. Super conscious living is for you guys who are advanced students in the path, who are committed to enlightenment. I'm only talking to the folks who are committed to enlightenment. If you're not committed, try it. Try it and see, because it is exquisite. All the years when I was doing my sadhana and getting the abhyasa, everything from my teachers, from my Sadguru, Swami Ishwarananda Giriji. So many times I would just sit and wait. A lot of patience I had. Somehow I had a lot of patience. A lot of you don't have patience. So, Mom, when, come and ask me, so where am I right now? I'll tell you when you're ready. So when you come to the super conscious, whether Ma is there or not, just by yourself, you're soaking. So what makes me irritated? What makes me to say that this person is not doing his job? How do you know? As you sow, thou shalt reap. What goes around comes around. It's not that we're all bad or something, but in spite of that, super conscious living is to rise above that in the moment. Forgive every damn person. Doesn't matter, because they're you only. Whom are you forgiving? Your son, your granddaughter, whatever. Whom are you forgiving? Yourself. Like the old people in India use this word bloody a lot, that bloody bastard, he just, so even that person you forgive, because the freedom is that only. See, freedom is when you're forgiven everybody, and there's nothing you're holding on, there's no shackles you're holding on to. You're simply walking, you're simply cruising. And that is what you're flowing effortlessly. You're flowing effortlessly. Is there any effort in that flow? Tell me. There's no effort, because you've given up all, you dropped everything. In that dropping alone, you will see your infinite reality, because your puny self, your name and your form and your little car and your little house and your whatever, that's not you. Is that you? So you have a mansion, your friends come and say, oh wow, not bad, like you did good for yourself or whatever. Okay, then they're gone. Now who sits with your sorrows? You. You're enlightened and you're happy, you're in the super conscious level and you're just cruising everywhere. Hey, you seem to be happy. Oh, yeah. And then they're gone. Who is in the happiness? You. You see what I'm saying? So if you can bring yourself to that levels of consciousness, you're finished. Who is finished? The little name and form, which is made a prison for itself and sitting there and saying, oh, this is my belief systems and this is my this and I can't get out of this. Why? Step into that infinite space. Simply step and see. I mean, you're not physically doing it, Vibrationally, you're simply saying, okay, I'll jump in the pool of consciousness. And don't ask me if the water is perfect. So the most important thing is your intention, folks. If your intention is pure, and you say, I'm just going to do what the heck I'm just going to do. I mean, people, some of you are like 30 years young, less than 30. Why are you here? Why are you here? There is a deep calling within you to sit now. There's a deep calling within you. And you're not interested in anything else in the world. Why? Because the tapasya has been done in many lifetimes already, So the soul recognizes what it is. So talking about the soul, we call Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta and the awakened being. Awakened being is awakened. And they're not really soaking in it. Like they go and do the Jagat things, they come back, oh yeah, I am awakened, I'm awakened. Jivan Mukta is the one who gets soaked in that ambrosia of supreme reality within them, and they're still living on this earth with no connection with the world and its phenomena and its entertainments, because the self does not need any entertainment. I'm sitting there in my cottage all day long, no problem. I see a beautiful rose, I enjoy it. I see this beautiful hawk coming and dancing in the backyard. I just look and say, wow, Vishnu is visiting. Because in India, we say hawk visit means it's Vishnu. Vishnu is the endower of everything, wealth. It doesn't matter. It's the grandeur of the hawk. No, you enjoy it. But if the hawk is not there, you're going to sit and cry today. I didn't get my visitation from my hawk. This is enlightenment. This is Jivan Mukta. If you are given a morsel of food, you will say, thank you, Lord. Jivan Mukta means enlightened beings living on this earth, like my masters. If you're just an awakened being, you can be awakened, but you will be pulled. You will be hooked. You will be sabotaged by the ego realm. So the realm of the ego mind, we've said so many times, it's got conflicts, it's got sadness, sorrow, everything. The realm of the heart, it's pure joy. Pure joy. So the Jivan Mukta is a conscious being. When you become a conscious being at every moment, like this beautiful beloved soul of mine, she teaches something. I don't want to go into details, but she teaches. And one day her student came and asked, well, what he always appreciated her. She's single and she's always so vibrant and beautiful and radiant and helping all the students. So he said, hey, what are you doing this Saturday? I've got this 13 boat, 13-feet boat that I'm going to cruise the bay or something. Why don't you come? And she says, oh, Saturday, I'm going for meditation. She didn't give any details. I'm going for meditation. He said, he probably rolled his eyes and said, oh, this crazy young lady, sitting in meditation. This is like once in a blue moon invitation. And you don't want to come and cruise with me? No, thank you. That is being in the awakened state where you think this is more important than go cruising the thing. And that is the choices I was talking about. At every moment in your life, you have a choice. And life is taking you by. Life is going tick-tock, tick-tock. It's not going to wait for you. Whether you're 30 or you're 60 or 90, it's not going to wait for you. So if you're living in that state of consciousness, death can come. The death of the ego has happened. Death can come. So what? Are you ready to die? Oh, no. No. I want to live a little bit longer and I want to do this and I want to impact the world. What freaking impact? What impact? You're impacting only when you're completely enlightened and you leave all your little toys, drop, including your little self being alive and coming over there and staying for another 2 years. Why are you begging? Why should you beg? Be that grandeur, that luminosity, that radiant self. Take what? Because the self doesn't die. You are eternal. Adi hu mein, anant hu mein, srishti hu mein. I am the eternal one, right? I am the eternal one. I am the ancient one. I am the creator as well as the destroyer, as well as the dissolution. Everything I am. So what is the big deal holding on to this freaking life? What is the big deal? Go in style. Don't beg. Don't beg for another day. Go in style. I'm not doing this for you to be beggars. You know? We're doing this so that you can experience your own grandeur. So far you've been begging now with this thing. Emperor going and begging in his own empire, going and begging. That's what it is. That's what we are doing in this Jagat. Just going and begging. I mean, you're not literally going and begging, taking a thing, but you know what I mean? You have to read beyond that. Everything of your actions, what you're asking God every day, or you're seeing the lack within, is begging only, right? You're seeing the lack within. Oh, I don't have much of this, if I just had a little bit more money. There's always people want more money. Can you see what you have right now and be absolutely filled with gratitude? Because in the state of attitude of gratitude, there's no question of conflict, sorrow, sadness, nothing exists, nothing can exist. If you have a morsel and you're grateful for it, you're so happy. Oh my God, God gave me this much. I can survive today. So be happy. Only one day. He's only given you enough for one day. That's living in the moment, living the Jivan Mukta, living the awakened state. At least awakened state, please live. After that, you'll come to the Jivan Mukta. And we'll make sure that you get there if you completely dedicate and make the commitment. If you don't, there's nothing I can do. Because never forget that you are that beautiful, beautiful, radiant being. Now and always will be, always are. Always are. So what are you waiting for now? Because nothing in the world can suffice. Does suffice. Nothing in the world gives you that immense peace. And that experience of that vastness cannot. Unless you go within. And to go within, what do you have to do? Come to that state of pure silence. That silence is the grandeur, you see. I'm not talking about a few lights you see. In the beginning, all of you are meditating and you see lights and all. That is very good. But don't get carried away by that. Because there's more beautiful grandeur than just the lights or visions or something. There's grandeur in the silence. There's simple grandeur in the silence. We can just simply sit and go into samadhi, and there's no lights, there's no visions, there's no nothing, but you are silence. You are silence. Can you come to that recognition of that silence within you? Only silence I'm talking about. There's no BSing here in this one. I'm not saying, oh yeah, look at the lights. There's no entertainments for you by we're putting a slideshow here and showing you, oh, there's lights and this and that. We are not, because already we have enough of that in this world. We don't want to give you more entertainment. Even if it's boring and I'm repeating the same thing, have you come to that deep seeing? I want you to go deeper. Right? Any questions? Sorry, Matthew, please give him the mic.
The question that I had has shifted about a dozen times.
Thank you.
But it goes back to the same question. Does not or cannot total Sharanagati facilitate everything else?
Absolutely.
Well, it seems like that to me. That's
It is. It
okay.
is. See, why I come to the Sharanagati after giving little prerequisites? Because you're not ready. Before you are, right, you're humble and you're letting go and everything. You're not ready for the Sharanagati. The total Sharanagati is total surrender to that infinite within you only. I'm not telling you surrender to Ma, surrender to that, go to church every day, go to temple or not like that. All that are preliminary stages which we all have gone. We have gone to temples, we've gone to churches. All that is there's no problems. Even now if you want to go and you get inspired, I like to listen to the mantras. It just takes me to a high state. It's go ahead and listen, no problem. Anything that elevates you to a higher state, listen. But don't go for the entertainment, which depletes your energies. So the entire universe is energy only. So anything that depletes your energy, please stay away from that. So entertainments, going out there, driving here, driving there, depleting your energy. Where you are that infinite reality. If you just stay home and simply meditate, you become that vastness. And when you become that vastness, you're not doing it because I am the vastness now and I will, impact the world. You're not doing for that. You're just doing for just the joy of it. There's a little thing I'll show you, share a little story. Adi Shankaracharya, which has said Nirvana Shatakam, no? Chidananda Rupam Shivoham Shivoham. It's there in our website. The whole chant composition is there. And, he's an amazing soul. So when he was younger, like an adolescent, first of all, he was supposed to only live for 8 years. Then, the different gods come and say, oh my God, this boy is so brilliant. At age 8, he's already conquered death. He's conquered everything we need him in the world. So another god comes and says, oh, Tata Hastu, and gives him another 8 years. And then another one comes and gives. So anyway, he becomes an adolescent and he sees this Rishi just dancing on the peaks of Kailash. And he says, oh my God, he just looks at him. And he's just, one moment he's in one peak, another moment he's in another peak. And then he's just shifting and then he's doing this Shiva Tandav and all. And he says, oh my God, I need to go. And he goes there, Guruji, please show me what all, your magic. Can you show me? I want to learn this whatever. That's the siddhis, So anyway, to make the story short, he says, well, he's standing on the toppest peak, the highest peak, and he looks down and it's like steep. Okay, there's nothing, there's all snow. And he says, well, if one can fall down there, maybe I'll think about it. Immediately, Shankara says, if you say that you'll think about it, and if there is a chance that this will be taught, I will fall. And he just falls. And he's just going, down. That is absolutely conquered death, right? He's going. And this thing, he's like Shiva himself, but he goes like this. He just lifts him up. And the guy comes back and next to him. And he says, oh, okay, I should just pay attention to you, young man, because, you're not the ordinary one, right? He says, okay, I'll teach you. Can you go through the thing? He says, yes, I'll go through anything. And he teaches him everything. At the end, he says, he's Shiva himself, come in that form. He says, what is the point? I wanted to delight myself to create me in my image. I created this world. I created these beautiful mountains, these peaks, these rivers, everything I created. And then I did the mistake of creating human beings. He tells him with such sadness and, in the heart. And he says, oh, really? Why? He says, because once the human beings were created and I was so delighted, I created him in my image and her in, Shakti's image and all that. But then they started becoming very avaricious. And now, he says, fast forward to the now world, he says, it's all about money. And they have forgotten their soul, they've forgotten the grandeur, and you are the only person whom I saw could recognize your own grandeur. So he holds his shoulder and says, can you do this for me? Can you go to every part of this world and give your, reinvent the Sanatana Dharma, reinvent Advaita, reinvent the Advaita, tell people, because there are a lot of different aspects of religiosity where they say karmas only, they won't believe anything else. You have to do only the pujas, all that. For us, it's a state that you come from one to the other, right? And so he says, please go and tell them Advaita. You are that immensity. You are Shiva. You are Shakti. Go and can you teach them? And because he's given him all that power, which none of us have, but he has that power, so he goes and he's on this rampage. This young man, 16. And by the time he's 32, he's gone. Of course, at that time, north, south, east, west of India, he's established 4 ashramas. And he went, like, till he died, he was coughing up blood. Until he died, he simply recited the Vedas, recited like Advaita, you are that infinite. Okay, you're not none other than the. And there is no Dvaita. There's no two, there's only one. So only one self, one thing. And then all of these great masters who thought they had a lot of ego, they said, oh, well, what is that? Kashmir Shaivism is just fine. He can't come and enter my, I know how to run this thing. There was all different aspects, and all of those people come with all kind of snakes and everything, they're all gold. And they all claim that and we have to give him the name Adi Shankara. Adi means ancient. This is the ancient one, and we bestow him the highest honor in this country, in the world. And then he passes on, he just goes to thing, and he has only like 5 or 6 disciples, tells the disciple, I'm ready to leave. I've done my job. They all are crying, please, Shankara, don't go. There's no, I have to leave. It's time for me. And he just, till he's the only one, there is no samadhi, there's no nothing. He just goes to the Himalayas and he's walking with nothing, just one orange robes. He just disappears. So a few years back, we went to Kedarnath, which is the Himalayas peak, and we saw the place when they've kept a little thing, and you can go around. We went and saw the place where he disappeared, just all snow-peaked. And it was stupefying, the vibrations of that place. I'll share with you one if you we have 1 minute. It's a very beautiful experience. So we got off Kedarnath, which is 11,500 something, feet above. So when I got off the mules, I was just very dizzy. My husband was just walking in front. I said, hello, I just need you. I think I'm going to pass out. So I was like just about pass because less oxygen. So I already had some mitral valve or whatever. So anyway, we went and I was just almost passing out. He says, oh, okay. And then he got me. We went to this little cottage or whatever. It had steps. And so we walked up. We were in the room. And, he says, oh, you better rest because, we have to go to the temple in the evening. I said, okay. So I was just resting, and I just completely gone. I was just gone, in all aspects. And when I was resting, I saw Shiva put me on his lap. That was the first time ever I got any vision, of Shiva. He just came and put me on his lap, and he put his hand on my cheek. He said, you will be fine. And then I was just there in that state for an hour, and then my husband came and woke me up and said, aren't you going to have a wash? We're going to go to the temple. And I said, huh? Where am I? Kind of thing. It was one of the most breathtaking. I don't think I've even shared it with anybody. So anyway, we went to the temple after that, and whatever happened. So that is staying in the super conscious level. Even though at that time I did not know how to explain it, whatever. Just being open to it. Okay, if I die, because I was feeling really very uncomfortable when I got off the mules. And I thought, okay, I'm in Shambhu's thing. Because I used to love Shiva. I do still. It's the form, right? So I said, if I die here, great. I'm dying in the land of Shiva, Shambhu. That's fine. So we have to go beyond Shambhu, beyond the beyond. We have to go beyond the form, beyond everything to that Parabrahman. Parabrahman is the super conscious. That is Parabrahman. When you are the Jivan Mukta, you realize that you are that and you're still living. And one day your body dies, still you are that eternal. You're going beyond. So Parabrahman is that infinite with no form, no shape, nothing. That encompasses the whole universe. You become that. Yes, Ashwin.
Namaskara, Mama. Mama, I just want to touch upon that little story you mentioned about the Adi Shankaracharya, where he found the rishi on top of the peak. I just remembered one of those other stories that's something very similar from the ancient folklore. I just felt like sharing that, if I may have just 2 minutes.
Sure.
If you remember in the ancient Vedas, there is a story about the churning of the ocean. Right. So where the gods on one side and the demons on the other side were churning the ocean for the ambrosia, the amrit. So as they were churning, because everybody wanted the
Right.
sacred enlightenment, which is deep in the ocean. But the first thing that came out was a poison.
Poison. Right.
So which Shiva was called to drink it up. And then finally there was a truce that was reached where the demons got some and then the gods got some.
Right.
And finally there was an argument about we need to give something to our creations, our humans that we are here. But then there was a dispute about how are we going to give it to them, because they might misuse it. They might not know how to cherish the
Right.
gift of this Amrit. So one god suggested, let's hide it deep in the ocean. Then someone said, no, man is going to be smart. He's going to go deep into the ocean, dig it up, and he's going to misuse it. Then someone suggested, let's hide it up in the mountain. They said, no, he's going to destroy these mountains and get hold of it. You can never trust these humans. And then so there was a bit of a stalemate. Where are we going to hide this? Then Brahma, he says, I know where to hide this, deep in their hearts. There's one place where they will never be able to access easily. So let's put this Amrit of enlightenment deep in their hearts, because they will forever keep searching outside for what is within them.
Right. Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful. So did you see that? That's all we are trying to get to. So it's right within you. It's an ancient one that is within you. That's the secret. And like he said, we go searching all around the world. I want this, I want that. Oh, I'll go to this thing, I'll go to that, And when it's just right here. That's why I'm saying, like, you don't have to waste any energy at all. Put all your energies in that deep silence, in that meditation. Then you'll find the Amrit, you'll find that nectar. Then you can become the Jivan Mukta right here and now without any hesitation. I want to read before we go into it'll take me 2 minutes. This is absolutely astounding. So God, this morning I have read it before, but I know that you don't always remember everything that I read. And even I wouldn't if I was sitting there. So this is a book on my Swamiji's book, which is available outside. Life of my life, my weakness is too great. To measure your vast glory, your real extent, may you graciously remove this barrier that I may become one with your wholeness. So in the beginning, we are all not just great, like we have that humility, So with that humility only, we offer this prayer. And this is written, it's a composition by my Swamiji. He's written innumerable books on Sanskrit and everything, but I bring all these little ones because it's in English and you can all understand. That I may become one with your wholeness, light of my light. I am too blind to perceive that resplendent glory of your conscious being. May you open my inward eye that I may see, feel, and be lost. Be lost. You can be lost in your own glory, folks. You can be lost. In the adoration of yourself, the self of myself. This is my prayer to the being of all beings. I know you not, nor have I learned to discover the secret path that leads directly to you. Still, I seek you in the blindness of an instant and speak to you in the silence of my heart. By seeking all else, have I made my life empty and fruitless. By seeking all else, have I made my life empty and fruitless. You, the fulfillment of life, I seek you, whom the great ones have embraced. That divine consciousness which is ornate with bliss, as the evening sky with the crescent moon. May that divine descend upon me as the lotus feet of the Guru on the crown of the disciple. Thus may I grow rich with deathless riches. May I grow rich with deathless riches. Thus may I become fit to be called a lover of the divine beloved. That which makes the ocean ever to break into waves, that verily is impelling my Advaita Swarupa to manifest as the world's Advaita. That's what Shankara was asked to do. Manifest, you are the manifestation of the world's Advaita, world's oneness. Even as the ocean is not afraid, not exhausted, so will I remain collected and allow this play. Allowing the allowing. So you're allowing the play. So you're put here, you're given a role to play, we're all playing the roles. But don't become the role. When you become the role is when you get into sorrow, sadness, attachments. So will I remain collected and allow this play. Out of my fullness, my Advaita, soul of my soul, grant me this freedom. Grant me this freedom. Where there is no object perceived, no subject perceiving. See, very important. So when you drop the name and form, everything's gone. So there's no object perceiving and no subject. Where existence is pure, untouched by the five sheets, where feelings forge into the white heat of oneness, in that state of supreme freedom, my divine soul, preserve me forever. So that is the Parabrahman state, where we are not attached to the five sheets. All of your indriyas, no? Likes, dislikes, there's no like, there's no raga dvesha, there's no likes, there's no dislikes. It's all taken as it comes. In that state of supreme freedom, preserve me, my divine soul, preserve me forever. When he says preserve me forever, that is that supreme enlightenment. You come to that state of enlightenment. I am the ageless rock of the mountain summit. I am the ageless rock of the mountain summit. Clouds come and pass in endless procession without causing the least stir in my inmost core. No. So this is you are in the world. You are accepting everything that's going on in the world around you, but your very core is unshakable reality. The very core within you is that unshakable reality. Like no matter what happens, hell is breaking loose, it does not matter, because you are that infinite within you. You are that brilliant light. You are that rock of Gibraltar. You are that rock in the summit that nothing can touch you. You're already that now. Causing the least stir in my inmost core. In my inmost core. Can you be that? For every little thing we are, sabotaged. Oh, this happened, I'm just really frustrated. I'm just frustrated. I'm this, I'm that. Who is the I? You're still holding on to your little self and your little ego positionality. Who's the I? 1,000 suns have risen and set in quiet harmony without encroaching on my vision of oneness. Without encroaching on my vision of oneness. It comes and goes. Sunset comes. Today is a cloudy day. It's a rainy day. Whatever it is. Is that you? No. What if 1,000,000 world experiences encounter me every minute? Question mark. That's you. That's us in this world experiencing phenomena of experiences. While experiencing all of that, who are you? Who are you? I am the ageless rock towering above all worlds, unshakable and mute. I don't know how he writes like this. It just inspires me every time. Unshakable and mute. Okay. So after this, how can you not be Jivan Muktas? And this is one more by Swami Ramdas. It came to me. I want to read this because it's very important for what is being said so far. Look at the flow. This came differently, but it's all flowing as one. Thought for the day. When you sit silent and serene, so which is what we're asking you to do is meditation. all your senses at rest in the awareness of your divine consciousness. You feel that you are not an individual. You feel that you're not an individual tied down to the desires of the flesh, but a purified and enlightened being filled with a spiritual radiance which coalesces your life with God's. Just, you see, you're finished. Always remember that you're not an individual tied down to your senses and desires of the flesh. You're far beyond all of that. But you're an enlightened being filled with a spiritual radiance. You know, that's holding God's hand, and you and God becoming one. The experiencer and the experience becomes only one. In that oneness, you are that. You are that infinite. And what every moment you have miracles. Like my phone was not off, turned off, because I wanted to read that passage, and it never rang. You see, I forgot. Because if I turn it off, now I'm going to turn it off. But you know, but what I'm saying is, these miracles happen because when you surrender, everything is taken care of. Because you surrender to that infinite within you, which takes care of every little minute thing. If I forgot something, he said, "What do you want, Shambhu?" It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Any questions? Yes, please give her the. What's your name?
Lori.
Hi, Lori. Nice to see you. First time.
Thank you. Thank you. Very happy to be here. And forgive my basic question, but I would.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you. I would appreciate your putting in words that this endeavor, this seeking to merge with the greatness in that state, if there's anything to do about suffering in the world, I will be it, or I will know not to care.
Thank you. See, where you fall is that when you take on the suffering, when you want to do, see, the doership gently comes in through the back door and asks Laurie, like, okay, I'm in this enormous state of awakened state, and what can I do to the world? You don't have to do anything. By your very being, the world is already affected. By your very being and by your very silence, it's just moving. Because it's like, I was just telling somebody, you know, you make the service calls and you say hello, you know, and whatever. He says, yeah, whom are you calling for, whatever, you know, it's a rough thing. And then I say, oh, so and so. So, well, you know, I'm a tenant and this, you know, the owner wants to do this. Oh, okay. And then let me say, oh, well, we are all booked till October end or whatever. And I said, okay, that's fine, whenever you can give me. Absolute transformation of the other side within a few seconds. Oh yeah, that's too late. Let me see if I can get you. I mean, total transformation, because I was just not bothered. In other words, I didn't have an agenda that I must get this done now, my way or the freeway or the highway, whatever you say. So there is no agenda. The one main important thing I always tell is when this one comes here, there is no agendas that I have to have 50 people in this place or whatever. No agendas. So many people have to listen to me. No agendas. Then only I can be without shackles in total freedom. If whoever wants to come, 10 people, 30 people, 40, it doesn't matter. Because why? Why? Because everything has been surrendered. In that surrender, whatever God's will happens. Whatever God's will happens in that surrenderfulness. So we are not the doer, because the doer has dropped, no? The doership has dropped. You know, the doership has dropped, then who are you doing anything? Because the energy is simply flowing and you are that effortless flow. So you simply witness and something beautiful wants to come out of you, it will happen, but without an agenda. Answers your question? You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, please give the microphone to him. Are you Court?
I'm Court.
I just knew it. Even last time you came, no?
Yeah, I did.
Yes. Thank you for being here, Coach.
My pleasure. I could use some help with the idea of not having desires, because I mean, certainly I can see within myself plenty of desires that aren't helpful.
Right.
But it seems like without desire, I wouldn't do anything, and I would just sit here and die.
Don't do anything. You won't die. See, that is the state of the mind. The realm of the mind ego that is a commonality, right? You have to have desires. If you don't have desires, exactly, if I don't have a desire to have a promotion, I won't be getting more money and this, and I'm just like vegetate and die. What I'm saying is you are doing the doers. You're doing the doing. In other words, you say you're going to work, right? But you're going to work without a desire to get a promotion. I'm just giving you analogies, okay? So you're doing the work of a father or raising a family or whatever, but without any desires. Still, the world and your life will go on very beautifully because you're transferring that responsibility to a higher self within you. So there is immediate freedom. So you're not sitting as code saying that, oh, I have to have my desires, then I have to have like a sheet where I have all these agendas going, and if I don't do it, I mean, might as well just vegetate here. No, there's a higher calling for which you are here, for which grace has brought you here. There's a much higher calling because you're going to find the infinite within you, and therefore you have to drop the desires. You have to drop the expectations. Just drop one desire and see if it affects you in some way. You know what I mean? Like say you have a desire to, I must get this promotion or whatever. Say, you know what? Regardless of the promotion, I am. Because the quote, the name and form quote is there, so quote has to do this. What I said in the beginning, if you drop the name and form, everything simply collapses. Collapses meaning opening the way to radiance, opening this absolute beautiful path and saying, oh, come on, quote, go. Because the infinite within you wants only that. Infinite is sitting and saying, are you not going to come back home? Just turn 180 degrees and I'm right here. And we're looking outside to fulfill our desires, to fulfill our aspirations, to fulfill this, that, everything. And what we're doing while we're doing that, striving. And one day your body will die. You will really die then. You would have not lived at all. You see what you get my point? So you really die then. You're saying like, if I don't have desires, I'll die. No, you won't. Because you have a higher realm. You're going to higher realm. You're going to higher seeing. You have a higher endeavor. So the very fact grace has brought you here, even though initially you may think, oh my God, this enlightenment thing, I don't know if I can do it. Keep coming to the satsangs, because what will happen is it's simply facilitating, because grace has brought you here for sure. I don't know who you are, how you came here. I don't know. We don't advertise. We don't do anything. Just this one website and that's it. Word of mouth. And people say like, can we advertise here? Can we advertise there? I said, I don't know. Because I've surrendered. And if God wants you to come here, it's already bringing people. Whoever is supposed to be here today, listening to the highest knowledge ever, are here. Why others are not there? Maybe not their time. I don't know. You see, you get my point? It's a little bit easier now. Any other questions?
It sounds like a trust.
Yes, thank you. Yes. So the trust, so you have to trust that infinite within you, which you have no idea. Like what Swamiji wrote, right? I don't know who you are. I'm just totally blindly, but I just want to be free. I just want to, and I want to embrace that which the great sages have embraced. So the one who has done and been there and done that is sitting there and telling you how to do it. So you can't get better than that. Because in this world and this day and age, even spirituality, it's got a lot of entertainment. You all know that, huh? Lot of entertainment. Because they need to make, to sustain the ashrams, they need to make the money. I mean, it's okay, I mean, they're all good gurus, but it's fine. Every teacher is good, But I'm saying, like, as we just, come, graduate, and we come. And here there's no entertainment. Because the radical truth is given to you. See, because there's no time to waste. There's no time to waste. This is not for like sissies. It's not for faint-hearted ones. You want to come here, just come and sit here and just see the grandeur. Because you will be able to see. I'm not telling you, come here and sit here and look at this one. Why? It's waste. Look at your own grandeur, your own beautiful, radiant self, which is there every moment. No? So slowly, if you start trusting, okay, she's saying something, blah, 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 I'll trust a little bit of a blah, blah. You trust a little bit, then you keep coming and you will see, how did I know your quote? I know so many people sitting here. That could be quote, this could be quote, some newcomers, right? It's that immensity of the self, not the personality. I knew even the first time when you came, that must be quote. I mean, I get the list, but then, I don't know who is who, right? I mean, so there is an instant connection. So what you have to look for is that resonance, like you're feeling something, what I'm saying, or what this one is saying, or what self is talking is, are you feeling a resonance? Are you feeling a little bit of connectivity? Then I'm going to come back. And sometimes people may not feel first couple of satsangs. That's why 4 or 5 satsangs come and experience, because this is a space created by God. It's a sacred space. It's pretty potent. You will see after the transmission. Okay. Anything else? You're good? Thank you. Thank you, Coach, for coming. Please give the... Yes, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. That's
could you also say something about the grace transmission? The last portion of it was pretty painful for me last time.
Very good.
And I figured something called the grace transmission is not meant to be painful.
Oh, yeah. That's what God gave me the name, the grace, infinite grace transmission. I said divine grace, and Ramana said, no, not divine. Divine, everything is divine. Infinite. So it's going to kick your butt.
It did.
Yeah, thank you.
It was really...
I'm so happy. You made my day, Coach.
Yeah, I wasn't maybe fully recovered for a week. And so maybe if you comment...
Thank God we had 2 weeks in between, Yeah, that's the thing. See, that's what I very gently tell in the beginning. Well, when the grace transmission starts and you want to just run out of here, like get me out of here, don't do it. Just hold on to your chair. Why do I say that? Because in a very deep cellular level, all that you have been carrying, the crap that you have been carrying, the vasanas, the prarabdhas are all being cleaned out, basically. But the self is only cleaning out as much as you can handle. If I tell God, one time I had asked God, like, come on, this poor lady, like, what's your problem? You can clean her out one moment. And he'll say, she will not make it. She will not get up. Your poor lady will not be there. I was doing other things, about all this. So I said, oh, okay, Shambhu, fine, be that way, But now, because I want to release all the suffering for everybody. So I fight with God a lot. I mean, there's no God in me. There's no two, but, I just talk to myself, whatever, So when that thing is going to hit you again today, but you've cleaned quite a lot, because what happens to feel the subtle, the gross has to be removed. So that was being removed last time. So it is all for your benefit. Okay, everybody else, I want to repeat this again before the transmission. It's all for your benefit. All of your kleshas are being removed and cleaned so that you can be facilitated towards enlightenment. It's an agenda there. Not really an agenda, that's the benefit of it. So Sama also has some agendas. Okay. The only thing why all this is done, tell me. Do I need anything to be doing this? No. I'm already free. Why? Because if I can do this and if I can be in this space, I want you also. I also want you to be in this brilliance, state of bliss, harmony, serenity, and pure joy and unconditional love. Because this now, when you come to that state, you just simply pour out the unconditional love. It cannot be a conditioned love. It cannot be conditioned, impossible. It's only unconditional at all times, at every moment. Okay? So just go with the flow, and and also I told you last time, when you go home, don't do anything. I know you were down for 1 week. So that's why I tell, if people think like, oh yeah, I just went to the satsang, it was pretty good, and I'm just going to go and have a beer with my friend. No, So because you are dissipating the energy, and also you're respecting this enormous gift that you've been given. A very enormous gift, folks. Trust me on that one. Okay? So today, lots to say, people.
feel like this session has been. I feel like this session was just for me. I've been conscious for a while, having been with you, but that's compared to super consciousness as you're describing, which I'm like, oh, it's a miracle. This week I went to the pulmonologist and he showed me the cancers in my lungs. I could see them. That was 3-4 days ago. All of my symptoms are gone. I bet if I went back and had a scan now, there'd be nothing there. I have no cough. I'm not bringing up any exit date. I can't, and I keep saying, I don't know what happened.
And you're here, the Satsang. Largest life, huh?
And larger. But the worry I have is, how do I hold on to this super consciousness? That's the question.
Is there anybody that have to hold on to it? You already are that. You know what I mean? If there is a herb coming out and saying, how do I hold on to it? That means the identification of the self is still very much present. Because when you're going into the Nirvikalma Samadhi and you're going into the Jivan Mukta state, there's only the Jivan Mukta. Mukti means moksha. Mukti means liberation. So Jiva means you're a Jiva, you're a being, and you're going into the Jivan Mukta state, which means there's already Mukti has happened, liberation has happened. So where is the personality there? No personality available. And even if that question comes up, you go back to your super conscious living and you say that I am that infinite self, which is experiencing this now. And so therefore the experiencer and the experienced become one. And so there is no other asking the question. Okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Simple.
I guess don't want the transmission today? Okay, shall we start the transmission? Sit comfortably. So just be aware of the right side of your chest, which is the Hridaya Kamala. Lotus of your heart is the right side of your chest, not your physical heart, but your right side. It's just, just seat of consciousness. That's what Ramana says, seat of consciousness. So you can just visualize that you're in the waveless ocean of bliss, sitting in a beautiful white lotus. You're inside the lotus and you're forgetting the world for just this 1 hour, 45 minutes. You're forgetting the world and letting go. If you open a small window, you're only going to get a little bit. If you just open yourself up and say, whatever I need to release today, may it be released, it will be so. Okay? And I will take you into meditation, bring you out as well. So when I say slowly come out, don't start yawning and disturbing the person next to you. Just be very kind and compassionate and gentle when you're coming out. Take in a deep breath, inhaling light, peace, love. And exhale. Dropping all of your positionalities, dropping the doership, dropping everything that you think you are, just for this few moments. Take a small mini vacation. Taking a deep breath, inhaling light, peace, love. And exhale. Releasing everything that does not serve you. Releasing and wanting and yearning that pure freedom. One final inhalation, deep inhalation, inhaling light, peace, love. And exhale. Sit comfortably. slowly come out. Take in a deep, gentle breath, inhaling light, peace, love. And exhale. Dropping everything that came up to be released. Inhale deeply, inhaling light, peace, love. And exhale. Slowly come out. Dropping everything that does not serve you. One last time, deep inhalation. And exhale. Slowly open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you. How are you all doing? Ready to go dancing? You're really saying yes? Please don't. How are you all? So how is court feeling? Still intense? Are you okay today? The really feeling good comes, you have to have some patience. The first time he was toasted, now he's feeling good. So that's good, no? So basically, what is being released, you can't do it yourself, right? It takes years and years and years, lifetimes. So some grace is just flowing to release that in a very significantly potent way. I don't think it's a big deal, but because I'm not doing anything. But it seems to impact a lot of people. So we continue it as long as it's beneficial to you all. To all the Zoomers who are all around the world who cannot come in person. Many of you are coming to Tiruvannamalai, to India. So we'll see you there. But otherwise, transmission there's no boundaries. It goes all over now. All over the world it goes just like that. So that is the beauty of self. Infinite rendering. It's not finite to this body. What flows through is infinite. I just watch the circus. Simply sit and witness what's going on. And allow the allowing. How are you feeling? What's your name? David Dunlap? Not bad. How are you feeling? So the folks who came late missed quite a bit. Huh? So make sure that you're on time next time. You got the transmission, that's good, but try to be on time. Because, kind of the subject matter is repeated, but what is spoken today can never be repeated. Impossible. No? So better you're here all the time if you are committed to enlightenment, emancipation, moksha. Thank you so much for coming. And pray you all come back to experience more of the inner cleansing, more of the inner awareness, being aware that you're aware and living the super conscious life. Please practice it for this week. Practice abhyasa. Even if your mind says, oh my God, I have to sit and do this, just do it anyways because you are the master, not the mind. Thank you so much. Namaste. I love to all the Zoomers, and all of you. Thank you for coming. Namaste.